Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends and subscribers. This is Mahmoud Sheikh and today I'm gonna start a new video on developing a CRUD application using Codeigniter and Bootstrap. I have already downloaded a series on developing a CRUD application using Codeigniter and Bootstrap, but due to some problem with their audio quality, I was getting lots of comments saying comments regarding the audio quality of those series. Okay, that's why I have decided to create the same video once again, where you can get a video with better voice quality and you can understand better, and you can learn better. Okay, so here I have created that application. You can see I have options like adding a blog post, viewing that post, updating that post, and then deleting the post. Okay, so these are the basic functionalities of any CRUD application. If I want to add a post, then I just have to click on this add post button. So if I click on that button, like you can see I have a text box and a description text area. In this I will type a title, and then I will copy the text and then I will paste it here, and then I will click on submit. Now you can see that post is displaying on our index page. Okay, if I want to add and same time you can see a message saying that post added successfully is returning from the server. Okay, if I want to add another post, I just have to click on add post, and then I just have to angularjs, and then you just select this content. I will paste it here. Now if I click on submit, you can see another post with the title AngularJS and a description is been displaying on our front page. Okay, if you want to view that post, then you just have to click on this view button. Then you will be redirected to a page where you can see that post, because you can read that post completely in a full format, a full page format. Okay, here date of published is also displaying. So there is a button called as black. So if I click on that, I will be redirected to my index page. If I want to update any post, then I just have to click on the update button of that post. Then I just have to type. I'll just add some text. If I click on update, you can see that framework will get added to the title of my post. Okay, this is how we can update the post. Okay, if I want to delete any post, and then I just have to click on this delete button, and my post will get deleted. If I further want to delete another post, then I just have to click on this delete button. That post will get deleted from my index page. Okay, so this is the a complete functionality that we are going to learn, that we are going to learn how to develop this kind of functionality using Codeigniter and Bootstrap. Okay, so first, in order to start developing this CRUD application using Codeigniter and Bootstrap, you just have to go to your browser, and then you just need to download Codeigniter. Here I have downloaded a Codeigniter version. I have a Codeigniter 2.2.6 version with me. I have downloaded it from the net. You can easily download it from the net. Okay, once you downloaded it, then you need to go to your C drive. Inside C drive, go to XAMPP, and inside XAMPP go to htdocs, and here you need to paste that project. Okay, here you can see Codeigniter 2.2.6. you need to copy this folder and you need to paste it inside your htdocs. I have already copied here. I have given it a name as Codeigniter. You can give it a name whatever you want. I have given it a name as a Codeigniter. Okay, now once you moved your folder, when you open that, you open that folder, you will get some list of folders. Okay, so now next step is to download our Bootstrap files. Okay, I'm using Bootstrap framework for my front end, because I don't want to write all those HTML and CSS styling by my own. I just have to take that markup from Bootstrap. Okay, so you need to go to bootstrap.com, and then once you are in that page, then scroll down and go to theme paper. Okay, here you can get a download link. If you click on download, you will get all the if I click on this, I'll get a file with a name called as bootstrap.min.css. Okay, you just have to copy this entire text, copy and paste it in your editor, and give it a name as bootstrap.min.css. Okay, you can either download Bootstrap .min.css or bootstrap.css. I have downloaded bootstrap.css. Okay. Apart from that, you need to download two more files, which are JS files, which you can see here. Yeah, this is the bootstrap.css file which you can download from the bootswatch.com, which I have shown just few seconds back. And JS files, bootstrap.js and jQuery 3.1.0. Okay, these two files you can easily download it from the net. Once you downloaded these two files, you need to create a folder with a name called as assets, and inside that assets folder you need to create two subfolders with a name called as css and js. Inside css, create save that bootstrap.css file which you have downloaded from here. Okay, you can see you have downloaded. If you click on this bootstrap.css file, that file will get opened. Then select the entire text and then paste it inside your text editor and save it with a name called as bootstrap.css. Once you are done with that, copy that file or paste that file inside your assets folder, and inside assets make a folder css and then paste it here. Okay, and then do the similar kind of thing for js. Keep your all js files inside js folder. Okay, once you are done with this, okay, copy this folder by pressing Ctrl C, and then come here and then come to your htdocs and open your project and paste it here. Okay, now you are done of downloading Codeigniter and Bootstrap. Okay, and now you need to come to your browser and type in 127.0.0.1 slash Codeigniter. Okay, you need to enter the name of your project which you have moved inside your htdocs folder, which is Codeigniter. In my case, I have given it a name as Codeigniter, so I'm referring with that name in my browser, 127.0.0.1 slash Codeigniter. Okay, once you see that message, that means you have done so far, you have done everything correct. Okay, so you are good to go ahead. Now once you are done with this, you need to open your editor. Okay, you need to open your editor and then click on file and click on open folder, and then go to htdocs, and from here select the folder which you have moved inside your htdocs. I have my project name is Codeigniter. I will select that folder, and okay, that my project is been now open inside my editor. And now if I click on applications, I'll get all the files and folders, and you can see I have pasted on assets folder, and I have that folder is also displaying inside my editor with the files called bootstrap.css and bootstrap.js and jQuery 3.1.0.js. okay, now we need to start writing in or typing in or building our application. Okay, first we need to go to our browser and type 127.0.0.1 slash php my admin. Okay, we need to create our database first. Okay, first we need to create our database for our application. Okay, I'll click on databases and give a name to your database. I'll be giving it as Codeigniter. I'll just click on create. You can see the database is created. Now create a table. Inside in that table, I'll create tbl posts with 4 fields. One is for ID, another one is for title, third one is for description, and fourth one is for date. Okay, so I will be creating 4 fields inside my table. I'll click on go. Okay, here ID, title, then description, and then date created. Then select a data type as date for date creation, and then description. For description, I'll be using text. I'll be using text data type, and for title it will be varchar, and ID it will be integer. So let's okay here, and then now click on auto increment, set it as a primary key, and click on go, and now come at the bottom and then click on save. Okay, now we have created a table. Now we need to go to our database, to our editor, and inside our editor we need to go to our application, and inside application click on config, and from here we need to set our database configuration settings. Now we need to click on database.php. Here you can see, here we have an options or a database configuration settings 127.0.0.1, and then username, root, password is empty, and database is Codeigniter. Okay, and this is the database which we have created just few seconds back. You can see database name is Codeigniter code. Okay, database, click on database. Here Codeigniter. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, now we need to close this, and again we need to go to our auto load. We need to load our libraries. We will be, while developing this application, we will be dealing with the databases, sessions, and form validations. Okay, so before creating our application, before start developing our application, we need to set our libraries first. Okay, since we are developing a database application, so we know we need a database library. I'll just copy this and paste it here, and we will be dealing with the session also to display appropriate message to our user, whether the post has been added, whether the post has been updated, or whether the post has been deleted or not. For displaying those messages, we require a session flash data. So I'll just copy and paste it here, and we need one more library, which is form validation library. Okay. Form validation library is used to display the message to the user whenever user tries to submit the form without entering anything on the text boxes. Okay, at that time we should display the form error messages using the form validation library. Now we need to use helpers. We need helpers. So I'll just add those helpers afterwards, so that you can get a better idea what will happen if you don't use those helpers, if you don't mention those helpers in your autoload.php file. Okay, so I will just come back here afterwards when I get the error for that. And then now we need to go to routes. Okay, okay, I'll be using a welcome controller, and then you need to go to config, find encryption key. Okay, we need to set the encryption key 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, now save it, close it, and come here, click on controllers, and then click on this. Okay, and open your view welcome message. Okay, now delete this entire CSS. I don't want all this CSS, and here we need to call our JS files. Script source equals to PHP echo base URL, and we need to pass the path of our JS file. My JS file is inside where it is here, inside assets folder. Base URL will return you the path till this folder 127.0.0.1/Codeigniter. This is the base URL. After that, we need to type the folder structure by our own. Inside our project, our JS file is inside assets folder. Inside assets, there is a folder called as JS. Inside JS folder, we have a file called bootstrap.js and jquery.js. Okay, so we need to type in assets/js/bootstrap.js. Okay, now we need to do the same thing for jquery file, jquery 3.1.0.js. Okay, next we need to call our CSS files. Here PHP eco base URL, and then assets slash css slash bootstrap.css. Okay, now let's see whether we can access those JS and CSS files or not. To check, you need to right click on the page and then click on view page source. Then you can see it's showing you an error called to undefined function base URL. Okay, this is showing this error because we have not used helper of Codeigniter helper, which is URL. This is what I was talking about when I was discussing in autoload. Okay, here I have not call a URL helper, and we need a form helper. Okay, so this kind of error will be shown to you if you don't use URL helper in your autoload.php file. Okay, now if I refresh, you can see that error is no longer displaying. Okay, now you can see all the links are displaying which I have created here. Okay, now if you want to check whether your project is referring to these files or not, you just have to click on these links. Okay, my file is loading. Okay, this one is also loading, and the last one is also loading here. Okay, now I'll just okay, now I don't want all this thing also. Just delete this complete div. Okay, now I will go to Bootstrap website, and I will go to click on preview, and here you will get all the necessary design templates for your website or your portal development. See, you can see there is a code for navbar, buttons, typography, tables, forms. Okay, I want navigation bar. Now I will just click on this navbar, and if I click on this link, I will get all the necessary code to create a navigation bar. I will just copy this code and I will paste it here, and I will delete whatever I don't want. I don't want all this. I don't want this one also. Okay, Codeigniter CRUD application with Bootstrap. Now if I come to my site and if I refresh, you can see a navigation bar is displaying. I want a footer also, so what I will do, okay, I will copy this again and paste it here as a footer. Okay, just delete this. Okay, now I want a table. For that, again I will go to Bootstrap, and then here I will click on tables. I will get a table section, and if I click on this icon, I get the code for the table. I will select the entire code, copy, and I will paste it here. Now if I come to my browser, okay, table is displaying here. Okay, now I will delete the rows which I don't want in this table. Okay, I will just keep only one row, save it, refresh. Okay, now I will put this table inside a container. So for that, okay, where is that table? Okay, here. From here it should start a table and end it here. Okay, and Okay, let's put it inside a container. Class container. Okay, now you can see I'll get a margin from both the sides. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll use an h3 tag, view or posts. Okay, it's showing a message saying that view all posts, and I want a button. Okay, here just below this text view all post, I want to display a button with a name called as add post. Okay, for that you need to go to your Codeigniter guide 127.0.0.1 slash Codeigniter slash user guide. Okay, so Codeigniter has provided you a facility where you can where each project, the project that you have downloaded from the net, will come with your user guide. Okay, so to refer to that user guide you need to go to 120.0.0.1 slash Codeigniter, which is your project name slash user guide. Okay, here if you click on this table of contents you will get a list of all the topics or the concepts in Codeigniter. Okay, now I want to display, as I said before, I want to display a button. Okay, I can create that button by using an input type button, or input type or button input type equals to button, name equals to submit kind of thing. Okay, using HTML input tag, uh, HTML tag. Uh, uh, but Codeigniter has given you a facility by which we can use Codeigniter's classes to create a button. Okay, for that you need to click on form helpers, and okay, you need to go to table of contents. In URL helpers I want a link instead of button. I want to keep a link here. Okay, for that you need to go to URL helpers, here table of contents, and then click on URL helper, and then scroll down, and then you will get a title as a uh, label as anchor. Then you need to select this, copy this, and come here, PHP. Okay, then welcome, and here let's put it inside an array as name. Okay, here class as btn primary, and comma add post. Okay, save it and refresh. Okay, now you can see there is a button with a name called as add post. If I click on this, it will go to welcome, which is here. Okay, here we need to, let's welcome slash create. Okay, now then it will go to here inside welcome controller, and there has to be one function with a name called as create. Okay, create. Now if I save, and now if I click on this add post, it will go to that create function inside welcome and display the appropriate message. Okay, now I need to add some action buttons here, and at the same time I also want to change these headers of my table. So for that I will go to welcome, and this will be the title, and this will be the description, and created creation date, and then at the end action. Okay, now here we need to create 3 links, exactly similar links. Copy, paste here, and this one is for view, and change the label. Copy this couple of times. Second one is for update, and the third one is for delete. Update and delete. Okay, for this I want to I don't want to give these kind of styles to my links. If I come to my site and refresh, you can see this kind of style is there for my buttons, but I want to change the style of these buttons, so I will go to Bootstrap. Okay, and I will scroll down further, and okay, here we have. Okay, I'll just click on this icon, and I will select this class. Okay, here to paste this, I will make it as primary. Copy, paste it here, again paste here, and this one is success, and the last one is danger for delete. Okay, now if I refresh my page, okay, you can see the style of buttons have been changed now. Okay, now the next step is adding some text inside my database and displaying that post in the in my front page. Okay, for that I need to go to my database, and I will enter one record inside my table. Okay, Codeigniter is the project. Sorry, Codeigniter is the database which I have created for this project, and there is a table with the name called TBL post, and I will click on that post or open that posts table and click on insert, and I will type title, let's say WordPress tutorial, let's say. Okay, I'll just select any date, and if I click on go, that record will get added to the table. Okay, now I will fetch this record and display it. I will fetch this record and I will display it on my front page. Okay, for that I need to go to models, and I need to create a model. Right click on that models and click on new file, and save it with a name called as queries.php. Remember, you need to give it a name for your models. With your models should start with the model names should start with the smaller letters. Okay, save it, and here inside your file you need to refer to those files by starting the name of your file with the capital letters. PHP. Okay, class queries extends CI model. Okay, now we need to create a function, public function get posts. Okay, now we need to get all the posts that are stored inside our database. So for that we need to go to our Codeigniter user guide, and here inside table of contents you need to go to database classes. Inside database classes you will get all the details, all the stuff related to your database activities. Okay, go to database classes and then click on active records, and then since we are selecting the data right now, we want to fetch the data from the database. That's why here there are categories: selecting, inserting, updating, deleting, and method overriding and active record caching. Now we are our major concern is selecting the data from the database, so we need to click on select data. So here we will they have given us a query with the help of which we can get the data from the database. Okay, now let's copy this and come here and paste it here, and change the name of the table to tbl post, tbl underscore post, and use an if condition to check whether we are getting any records from the database with this query or not. Okay, so I'll just pass this query num rows greater than 0. Okay, here we are checking whether this statement is returning any records from the database or not. If this query has returned some data, if this query is having the number of rows greater than 0, then it will return dollar query of result. Okay, save it and come here, and inside our index function we need to call our model. So the way of calling a model is $this load model. Okay, we need to pass the name of our model. The name of our model is queries. Okay, and we have a function with a name called as get post. Here we need to call this function inside our index with the help of queries. $this queries $posts equals to okay, we are calling a function which we have created inside our model name get post. We have created this get post function to get all the records from the database, or to get all the posts from the database. So this function will return the records, and we are using this function here inside our index, and all the data is being stored inside this posts variable. Okay, so to check that, we need to use a print r function. Copy this and paste here echo tree, copy this, paste here. Okay, now exit. Now it should return us the data which we have saved inside our database. So let's go to our home page and refresh. You can see this is the record which we have saved inside our database WordPress tutorial. Okay, so it has returned us the record which is stored inside our database with the help of this function. Now we need to delete this and copy and pass this to our view as an array. Okay, we have created an array with a name called as posts, and to that posts array we have assigned, or we have set our all the data which we have fetched from the database, so that we can access that data inside our view, inside our home page. Here we can access that array. Okay, so before that I just need to create two more view files. One is header and another one is footer. Create a new file and save it with a name called as header.php, and one more file with a name called as footer.php. Okay, now let's take this entire stuff, cut and paste it inside our header.php file, and this one, cut this out and paste it inside our footer.php. Okay, now we need to call these files php include once Okay, sorry, it should be footer.php. Copy and paste it here, change it to header.php. Okay, now if I refresh, okay, nothing has changed. Okay, that means it's perfectly fine. And since we have now we have fetched our data from the database, and we have sent that data to our view welcome message by with the help of a array. Okay, now we need to use this array inside our welcome message. Now we need to, okay, here enter and use type PHP if count of posts, oh, sorry, if count of this array, copy and paste it here. If count of this array, if you are having any results or records coming from the database, PHP else and if, okay, if you are having any record, then we'll be displaying those records, otherwise we will display them a message saying that no records found. Okay, and then if the database has returned, if this queries function has returned any rows from the database, if this function has returned any post from the database, then we will display those posts with the help of for each loop. PHP for each dollar posts as dollar post, and then PHP and for each. Okay, now we need to use this dollar post, and here we need to PHP echo dollar post of title. Copy, paste here with this title, and this one is description, and the third one is what we have in our database. Third one is date created, right? So this should be date created. Okay, now save it, and now if I refresh the page, I should get a first post displayed on our home page. Okay, actually there is an error. Welcome message 27 and for each 7. Okay, okay, here there has to be colon. Now if I refresh, you can see the first post is displaying on our home page. Okay, now the next is to create a post, to create that blog post. If I click on this add post, I should get a form where I can write a title and a description, and if I save that post, it should display here on our home page. Okay, so to do that, you need to go to our views and create another view file with the name called as create.php. Okay, now PHP copy this and paste it here, and one more time change it to footer. Okay, and need to create a div with a class called as container. Save it and go to Bootstrap, and we need a form. We need to create a form. So in Bootstrap we can also get a form. Okay, here it is. Okay, just go at the top and you will get a link to forms and just click on that. You will get this form. Click on this icon and copy the entire code. Okay, okay. Copy this code. Okay, Control C and come here and paste it here and save it and let. Okay, we need to call this create view inside our controller. So here I'll just copy this, paste it here. I will delete this, change it to create. Okay, now save it and refresh. If I click on add post, I'll get a form like this. Okay, now I need to delete the stuff which I don't want in this form. Okay, so go to create form and delete this. Okay, let's change the columns. I want my layout to be medium, not the large. So wherever there is a layout with a name called as LG, I will change it to medium. Find replace. So I'll just change it to LG to medium. Replace all. Okay, now save it and change it to title. Okay, and then okay, we had a text area also here which I have deleted. Okay, now I want that and go to find, click on replace. Okay, replace. Now change it to title, copy this, paste it here, and then this one should be description. Copy this and placeholder, paste it here. Okay, and delete this span. Okay, okay. Title, description. Okay, I want to decrease the size of my text boxes. I want to make it as 4 or let's say 5. Okay, and I want one more div to display the error. So I'll just copy this once again and save it. Okay, this much is fine. And then here you can see here it is input text boxes and text area is in HTML format. We want to replace it with our Codeigniter input and text area. So for that we need to go to our Codeigniter guide, click on table of contents and then click on form helpers, and here you will get a element for form open. Control find form. Okay, here it is, form open. I'll just copy this and over here paste it out here. And welcome / save. Okay, we need to create a function with a name called as save inside our home controller. Okay, we have not created yet, we will create it very soon. Okay, so and class, we need to create an array to mention the class. Class is this one. Copy this here and return name. Okay, I will just delete this and I will delete this form also. Here I will use an form close method. PHP echo form close. Okay, now save it. Select this, save it, and we need to change this input element with our Codeigniter's in form helper. Let's come here and look for form input. Okay, here it is. Okay, select this, copy and PHP okay, here paste it out, delete it. Okay, inside it create an array. Here also one is for name, title, then another is for one is for title and another is for placeholder, and the last one is for class. Class will be this one, form control. Copy this and paste it here. Okay, save it, and and just copy this once more time and paste it here and change it to text area, change it to description, copy and paste it here. Okay, now delete this, and if I come here and refresh the page, okay, I got a title and a description text area. And similar, we need to change these buttons also. We need to go to here and look for form submit. Okay. Okay, here we have that. Copy this, paste it here. Okay. Okay, I have pasted the code for creating the form submit, and I have created an anchor, and to that anchor I have passed URL as welcome, so that when I click on that back button I should go to a home page of my portal or my blog. So I will just refresh. I will get a message saying submit and back. If I click on back, I'll be redirected to my home page. Okay, now we need to click on add post again, and we need to write the functionality for adding a blog post. Okay, so whenever user click on this submit button, it should go to save function inside the welcome controller. Okay, we need to go to our save function inside welcome. We need to create that function, public function save. Okay, need to do some form validation. For that we need to go to our Codeigniter form, Codeigniter user guide, click on table of contents, and then click on form validation class, then click on form, and here you should copy this line of code and then paste it here. Okay, so not this one, actually this one. Copy this and paste it here, and delete this too. This one also, save it. Okay, here you should enter the name which you have name fields which you have given to your input and text area. First one is title, and next is description. Okay, now here success, and here should be echo validation errors. Okay, so here I will take the values that is been entered. In this title and description refers to the values, those values which user is going to enter inside this text box and inside this text area. Okay, if the user enter both text, both title and description values, then echo success will display, success messages will display. If the user click on submit button without entering anything in the text and description fields, then we will get a message saying that title is required and description is required. Okay, so let's check this out, refresh, and if I click on submit, I'll get a message saying that the title field is required and the description field is required. Okay, so now let's copy this, paste it here, and let's go back to our form validation. Okay, here scroll down. Okay, let's come here to our now. If user tries to click on submit without entering in this text box and in this text area, then it should display the message just beside this text box and text area. For that we need to go to create, and here we need to type in echo form error. Okay, and then we need to enter the name field which is the title. Copy this, paste it here, comma, and and due with the class text danger. Okay, copy one again, copy this, paste it here, and change the name to description. Okay, now save it and refresh. And now if I click on submit, it's displaying me a message saying that the title field is required and description field is required. Okay, now previously it was moving to the next page and it was displaying there. Now I have set it to display it on the same page, and now we need to write the code to save the data whenever the user click on submit button. Okay, so for here we need to write that code. First we need to collect the data which the user is going to enter inside the text box and text area. For that we need to type $this input post. Okay, now this data variable will hold all the data what user is going to enter inside this form. So we can see that data by using print r and passing this data array or data variable inside this print. So copy this and exit. Okay, save it, and if I refresh now, if I refresh and type Codeigniter and here Codeigniter tutorial, if I click on submit, now you can see the data that is displaying whatever data I have entered in the text box and text area. The data is displaying here in this array, title, description, and along with that it's displaying a submission also. I want to get rid of this submit equals to submit. Okay, because if I keep this extra information inside this array, then the data will not get saved. So we need to remove this from our data. So to do that we need to go to our editor and type unset and then this data of submit. Okay, now save it and refresh. Okay, now if I type Codeigniter and Codeigniter, okay, if I submit now, you won't get that extra piece of information coming with your submission. Okay, now we need to remove this code and we need to call our model, this load model, this queries. Okay, we need to pass this queries inside here, this queries, then add post function. We need to create an add post function inside our model queries, public function add post. Okay, and this function will accept a parameter which is data that is coming from our form. Okay, here we need to go to our form, to our user guide, and click on table of contents and then click on database class, and from here click on active record class, and here click on insert data, and we need to use this line to insert the record in our database. Return this db insert this tbl posts and this pass this data. Okay, now it will return a value of either 1 or 0. 1 if the data gets saved successfully, and 0 if the data did not get saved inside the database or table. Okay, now we need to accept that value which is coming from that function. If this query is at post, the function which we have created here returns a value of 1, then we have to display a message saying that record saved successfully or post saved successfully. We can display that message using the set session flash method of session library. So $this session and set flash data. Okay, so this set flash data is a method of our session library which allows us to display the message to the user only once when any submission is been made on the form. At that time, we can use this set flash data to display that, to flash the message to the user. Saying message, and messages post saved successfully. Let's copy this. Failed to save post. Okay, then return redirect. I'll be redirecting to welcome controller in both the cases. Okay, now let's come to our home page and refresh the page and click on add post, and now Codeigniter and then Codeigniter tutorial. If I click on submit, now I got a message. Okay, load on 38 of welcome controller. 38. Okay, load. Okay, now save it. Codeigniter, and if I click on submit, you can see a couple of errors. Undefined variable data. You must use the set method to. Okay, here what I have used, insert. Okay, this one is correct. This db insert. Okay, data. Okay, here I have not passed that data to my add post function. Okay, so let's now refresh and enter the data, and if I click on submit, now okay, the data has been saved, but I didn't get a message because I have not used this message variable inside our welcome message. Here we need to use that message. PHP if and if. Okay, if dollar message equals to dollar this of session flash data of message. Okay, we need to pass this message value here inside our flash data. Okay, and echo this message, copy and paste, save it. Now let's refresh and click on add post. angularjs framework. Now if I click on submit, I should get. Okay, yeah, I have made some mistake, I guess. Okay, this should be inside PHP tags. Okay, now click on add post, click on magento, development. Now if I click on submit, now you can see post saved successfully, message is displaying, and at the same time our data is displaying, or post is displaying on the table, but we are not getting this date. Okay, for that we need to uh, do some adjustments. Here we need to come here inside our save function, and we need to type yeah, here. Okay, now we need to create a variable with a name called today, and to that we need to assign the date, today's date, and the today date will be in the form of year, month and day. Okay. And now we need to pass this date inside our post data date. Okay, copy this, paste it here, date created. Okay, we need to add this date inside our date created field of our table. Now refresh and click on add post, then Joomla development. Okay, now if I click on submit, you'll get a message post saved successfully, and at the same time I get the date also. Okay, now refresh. Now we are done with our adding a post to the database. Now we need to do the same thing for updating. Okay, for if I click on update, I get a same form. I should get the same form, but with this, but that form should also contains the values like this title and description. Okay, so for that we need to go to our editor, click on views and folder, and click on new file and save it with a name called as update.php. Copy and paste it here, same code, and in here we need to change it to like change. This change function, we need to create a name function with a name called as change inside our welcome controller. Okay, public function. First we need to create a function with a name called as update to display that form. Copy, paste it here, and okay, now if I click on this update link, it will take me to the update form. Okay, then add post, and then here it should be update post. Okay, now refresh, and we need to display the values here. Okay, come here, okay, put double quote, put these inside double quotes. Okay, now refresh and go to home. Now if I click on any of these links, okay, I'll just resize this window. Okay, now if I click on any of this link, you can see on the left bottom of this browser, you can see a link saying that 127.0.0.1 slash codeigniter slash index.php slash welcome slash update, okay, or slash view or slash delete, okay. But this is the link for this individual post. This link should contain the ID or the post ID of this individual post. So that when I put a mouse on this each of this link, it should display me the ID of that individual post. So for that we need to come here and we need to put forward slash and brackets, then we need to copy this, paste it here, and let's change it to ID. Copy. Okay, now if I refresh, you can see now if I keep a mouse on the view, you can see the ID is also showing. This ID is ID is 2 and this ID is 3, ID is 4, ID is 5. Okay, the same is for the rest of the buttons, ID 5, ID 4, ID 3. Okay. Now if I click on this update, it should take me to the post, to this individual post with the ID of 1. So how I can do that? So if I click on update, it should go to update function inside the welcome controller here and display the update view, and at the same time it should take the ID $ID. Okay, and if I echo $ID, okay, let's refresh and click on update. Okay, the ID is displaying here. If I click on 2, ID is displaying here, which is this same ID 2. Okay, with the help of this ID, I'll be getting the data from that data from the database of this particular post. Okay, so I will just now I will click on. Okay, here I have the same query also already available. I'll just paste this here. Get. Okay, now let's change it to get single post. Okay, and pass this ID to this function, and let's create this function inside our queries. Public function. Okay, and we need to go to our database, and here at the top click on table of contents, database classes, and then active records class, and then click on select data, and then select where. Okay, we need to take this, copy this, and paste it here, and change the name to TBL post, and array ID is this ID, and delete this. We need to select the title, description, and date of creation of that individual post whenever user click on this update button. Okay, so now the same thing we need to copy, paste here. Instead of result, we will be returning the row here. Okay, I want a single record from the database, not all the records from the database. That's why we use row function. Now it will return that single row from the database, and here we need to receive that data and store inside this post variable. So this post we need to pass to our update using an array. Copy, paste, change it to post. Okay, now we need to go to our update, and here inside this array set value as $post of title. Okay, now let's see Okay, here value set value of our post title. Now let's check. Title, post title, refresh and click on update. Okay, our title is displaying, and now the same we need to do it for our description. Okay, description is also displaying. Okay, so what I have done is I have inside my queries I get the record from the database. I fetch that individual record from the database whenever whenever user click on this update button, which is here inside my welcome message. uh, Whenever user click on that update button, I'll be sending the ID from here using the get method. The ID will be passed, and that ID will received here using the get method. This ID will receive in this form inside the update function of welcome controller. Here the ID will be received, and with the help of that ID I'll be fetching a single record from the database here, and I'll be returning that database, and I'll storing that record inside this post variable, and I'm sending that record to my update view with the help of an array. Okay, here inside that update.php I'm receiving that data. Okay, now we need to create a change function inside our welcome function, so that whenever the user click on the submit button here, whenever the user click on the submit button, the record will get updated. So let's change it to update. Okay, and need to create a function with a name called as change public function change. Okay, need to copy the same data here also, title and everything is same, but we just need to change this function. Update post updated successfully, failed to update post. Okay, we need to create this function inside our queries. Public function paste. Okay, now come to our user guide Codeigniter. Click on update data, and from here we need to copy this. Okay, update, copy and paste it here, and it has return this db where is id, where comma dollar id, where id is id when update copy comma dollar data, update with the data. Okay, now we need to come here, welcome, and we need to pass the id. We need to send the id also. Okay, so let's just first comment all this thing for better understanding. Here we need to get the id of the record. Okay, for that we will be going to our update view, and here we need to put this inside the double quote and then put forward slash, and from here we will be sending the ID of that post from the with the help of form. With the form itself we are sending the ID. This ID will get passed to change function which is present inside the welcome controller. Here inside the welcome controller, inside this change, we are receiving that ID. Now if I write on echo, and if I $id, save it, and okay, click on back, and if I click on update, and if I click on this update, you will get an ID with a which is 1, okay, because this is the first post inside the database. And if I click on this Joomla and now I click on block, I will get the 5th ID. So I'm receiving that ID here, and this ID I will be passing here inside the update post, okay, so that I can collect that ID here to update the post. Okay, now let's refresh in Joomla framework. Okay, now if I click on update, now it has shown me a message saying that post updated successfully, and the post is also updated here. Okay, so this is how you can create a functionality to update the post. Now the next is to view that post. Okay, if I click on that, if I click on this view button, I should get different template where it's displaying me the that individual post. For that we need to create a file with a name called as view. So right click on that view folder and then click on new, and then save it with the file name called view.php, and copy this footer. Okay, now we need to use h3 view post, and then h3, okay, not h4, let's check h4 for displaying the post title. Copy paste, sorry, P for displaying post title, sorry, this one is for title and this one is for description, and this one is for date. Okay, now we need to create this inside our welcome controller. Public function view, and copy, save it. Okay, now let's refresh. If I click on view, it has taken me to that particular view where I can display the post details of this particular view. Now let's go. Okay, here we have already created a function inside our queries.php to get a single post. Okay, the same function will be using to display the individual blog post. Okay, here you need to come here and copy this entire thing and paste it here. Okay, get single post, and we need to pass this ID. Okay, well, let's comment it first and echo $id. Okay, now save it. Okay, so whenever user click on this view, with this view an ID will be passed using get method, which you can see at the left bottom of the browser, welcome/view/1. okay, this ID of 1 will be passed with help of get method to this view, and that ID will display here. Okay, which I have printed here. Okay, now I will receive this ID here, and I will pass this ID to my function get single post to get that individual post, and that post I will that post title, description, and date of creation I will store inside this variable, and I will pass this variable as an array to my view template, so that I can display that individual post details inside my view.php. Okay, here I will display this php echo dollar post of title, copy, description, and then the last one is date created. Okay, now I must get a record or a view will be displayed whenever I click on the view link in home page. If I click on view, I can get the record individual blog post. Okay, so now I should create a back button here. So let's create that back button. So just copy this and go to view, and I will paste it here and will save it. Okay, if I click on back, I'll be redirected to my home page. Okay, now I am left with my last function, which is the delete. So if I click on this delete, I should go back. I should go to the delete function inside the welcome controller. Okay, which we have to create it now. So inside welcome, you can see there is a delete function that I have to create inside welcome controller, and to that function I'll be passing the post ID. So I should go to welcome, public function delete. Okay, here I need to accept that ID, which is coming from the get method echo dollar ID. Okay, so now refresh. If I click on any of the delete button of any of the posts, I will get the ID of that blog post. So I will use that ID to delete that particular post. So just call this. Okay, delete this, delete post, and to this function I have sent the ID which I have collected with the help of get method as soon as whenever user click on this delete button. Okay, I have passed this ID to delete post function, which I have to create inside my queries to delete the record public function. Okay, we need to go to our user guide and go to delete data, and we need to write. Okay, copy this, paste it here. Let's change it in a different. Let's db this db delete, and I will put the where condition inside here. Okay, table name tbl post, comma, id dollar id. Okay, now need to come back here, and we need to put this inside a if condition, because our function delete post will return a value of either 0 or 1. Okay, here I have created a function with a name called as delete post, and to that delete post I have passed the ID which I want to delete. Okay, so this one function will return a value of either 0 or 1. 1 will return if the data gets deleted, if the records get deleted from the table, and the 0 will get returned if the record will not get deleted from the table. So now save it, and else we need to use our this one session set flash data, copy, paste it here, and then copy this, paste it here, post deleted successfully, failed to delete post. Okay, I will be in both the cases I'll be directing the user to welcome controller. Okay, now refresh. Okay, now if I click on this first to delete, now I get a message saying that post deleted successfully, and that record will get deleted from the database. If I want to cross check, then I just have to click on TBL post. You won't get a record with the ID of 1 now. Okay, there is a record with the ID 2, 3, 4, 5, but not 1. You know, if I click delete, want to delete another record, I can delete that also. Okay, so this is how we can create the or develop a complete solution for CRUD, for operation of CRUD using Codeigniter and Bootstrap. Okay, so in this video or in this movie, I have discussed complete in detail how you can download Codeigniter, how you can download Bootstrap framework, and how you can start developing how you can integrate your Bootstrap with your Codeigniter, and how you can write different functionalities to perform different operations, like how you can add a post, how you can view a single individual post, how you can update a single post, how you can delete that post. Okay, so I hope you like this video. I hope you got some useful information out of this CRUD application of using Codeigniter and Bootstrap. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, click on like button, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys.